I was alt tab. That's cheating. Okay. Ah. Anyway. Oh, I was shooting into a wall there. There. So, if you're wondering what build I'm using the same build as yesterday, but for real this time. And I was just kind of wanting to yak for a little bit about the new class and what it's potentially going to be. And I've already said I think it's going to be an adept of the Mechanicus. The current top 3 sort of like people are kind of tossing around in the community is obviously a Mechanicus, a Hive Ganger from like Necromunda. Like that's the inspiration from the tabletop Necromunda, which I do not play or know anything about, so my knowledge of what a Hive Ganger really would be about, like slim to none. I know some people are asking for like electro flails, vibro knives, stuff like that, so... Sorry, I'm focused on killing the Chaos Spawn. And as I said, my personal opinion is I think it'll be a tech adept, maybe opinion, maybe desire. Just because I think, my logic is that the tech adept is so different than all the other classes that it would be like it would really throw an interesting thing into it. And one thing that always gets brought up, also the third class that people are tossing around is some sort of Sister of Battle, which, wouldn't be that far off, but I feel like, I don't think it'll be Sister of Battle, because I think it's a little too soon story-wise for the Sisters to show up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just had the Arbitrator show up, and then, like, having the Sister show up would be like, man, things are really escalating in Tertium. I think when we finally get enemies like Space Marine or Chaos Marines, we will undoubtedly probably get Sisters or some other heavier unit classes. And, sorry, I was choking on my own words there. And I think, obviously, when it comes to adding any class, some people don't think the Sister is going to be a thing because it's be too close to the Zealot, which is obviously completely understandable. The personalities would be incredibly similar. But I think a lot of people kind of get lost in the personalities over... And I'm not saying I'm not guilty of this, too. I mean, I literally doubted it was going to be an Arbitrator because, one, I thought it would be like, that's too highbrow. When thinking about it, that's stupid. Of course, Tertium would have Arbitrators that would be fighting against the Heretics. What was I thinking? But obviously I was saying like, it'd be like, what's the difference between like an Arbitrator and the Veteran, or the Arbitrator and the Zealot? I think it's too similar. And like, I think it's because Zealot and Veteran are going to be your like, your compass point characters, because obviously they are baseline humans that are one's generic soldier guy and the other's like, your religious psychopath, right? You're more unhinged, just sort of citizen. And obviously Psyker and Ogryn are unique, being the fact that one's a Psyker and one's an Ogryn, so they're not baseline humans, so there's nothing really, they're like pretty unique as it is. Because like generally, Zealot and Veteran aren't that unique in terms of like vibes or whatever. Obviously it's not me like shit-talking them, they're meant to be very basic, right? They're your baseline human fighter. So there, obviously, whenever a new class gets added, people are going to be like, okay, how's it going to be different from the veteran? How's it going to be different from the zealot? And I think people really need to kind of like stop doing that. Generally, I think, like, obviously, you can wonder how it's going to be different than the other classes for sure. But I think, you know, Fat Shark's always going to be better at making a character than we are generally, at least for the most of us, me especially. Because obviously they have knowledge and a whole team designed for that stuff, right? One second, I can clear my throat and mute my mic. Okay, I'm back. So, you know, they'll when they add a character, they'll make it unique enough to play. Like, obviously the arbitrators are incredibly unique, right? So I think they could easily add a sister, a ganger, and obviously a tech priest would be incredibly different. But they can add classes that are more human-y, or more like closer to our baseline characters, and still be very unique.
I see that
Right when that one went right through that mutant's eyes. Was that ammo? No, that was a hole. I got tricked by a hole. Not the first time. My grenade fell under the stairs. So I think it's going to be a tech priest, and he's like, how his mechanics would be, I don't know, I would hope that he has like some buffing and stuff. I think people are really wanting like a more support-orientated class. Because obviously Arbitrator's very like aggressive. I'm going to heal a scratch, because I'm greedy.
no forgiveness, no quarter, no mercy.
There we are.
They hunger for judgment.
I thought that was a sniper line, but I think that was just my buddy's recon. Just waste a grenade real quick, just for funsies. It's not really a waste considering I regenerate them. Sigma. Yeah, okay, I did blow up that Pox Bracer. I have so many stats on the bottom of my screen right now. Don't shoot me. It hurts my feelings. Just gonna chuck a grenade in this general direction. Alright. So, yeah, I think it'll be a tech priest. I think... I'm not saying they won't add a like Hive Ganger at some point. I'm certainly like it's probably on their list of ideas. I just think, I mean, I would hope that they would just want it to be like, you know, they wouldn't want to add like two similar vibes of characters. Like I think a Hive Ganger obviously could be different, will be different than the other classes, but I think it's just in terms of like their gameplay. I can't imagine a Hive Ganger is not like kind of aggressive like the Arbitrator. So I would hope they had like a more support-orientated class. I think because one, it would make people more unique. you know, or like more excited about the class. You know, it's like a whole new thing rather than like, oh, it's a different flavor of the old thing, kind of. Okay, I lost that one. Oh, Demon Host turned off the old flashlight. You know, this map, even on lights out, is not very dark because of how much, like, candles there are around.
If it's an right.
A demon host!
I was kind of worried that I was literally about to say, oh, that's going to activate the Demon Host. Remember when Demon Host used to kill 2 people? I remember that.
Our righteousness has been rewarded.
Alright, we're good. Yeah. TLDR. I think and hope it's going to be Mechanicus. But who knows, maybe they'll just throw a curveball at us and add, like, something crazy. Like a Rattling. Some people are also, like, throwing around that it's going to be Rattling. I don't think it'll be a Rattling. Simply because I think that's a lot more work than I think people think, because that's adding a whole new model that has to deal with, like, you know, the level layout, right? So it's I think adding a Rattling is maybe a lot more work than some people realize, because it's not just like making the Rattling model and then throwing it in the game. They have to, like, test it with all the maps and all the geometry to make sure that, like, being that small doesn't break anything, or, you know, make it impossible to do certain things. Now, do I think a Rattling's completely off the table? Absolutely not. I'm not of the opinion that that is true. I saw some people saying, like, oh, Fat Shark said they're not going to add a Rattling because how would a Rattling fight a Crusher? Or, like, try to get headshots on the Crusher. And I'm like, I don't know if Fat Shark said that. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I don't think so. I could be wrong. But, in Vermintide, there's literally a dwarf character. So, like, they would just give, you know, and, like, once again, like, you have to remember, it's a video game, right? You can make gameplay mechanics to fit your little rat guys. And, like, Rattlings are supposed to be, like, shooter characters, right? So, obviously, like, even if they can't, like, headshot Crushers with their melee, that's fine. They wanna headshot the Crusher with their, you know, their long las or whatever, or their bolt rifle. So, you know, like, you can say, like, if the Rattling's really good at shooting, you know, then him headshotting a Crusher, well, leave that to the Zealot, you know. Like, I think a lot of people also, like, kind of see characters in a vacuum in a way, which is, like, obviously good. You definitely want to look at your characters in a vacuum, but sometimes people only do that and they forget that, ow, they forget that there's going to be 3 other players on the team, right? So, like, if you can't hit a headshot at Crusher with your melee weapon as a Rattling, that's fine, just the Zealot will do it, or the Veteran will do it, or the Ogryn will do it, you know? And also, like, you don't need to headshot to kill Crushers quickly, right? You can, if you have weapons that have enough armor pen, then it's fine. quick. When in doubt, just shoot vaguely in the direction of heretics at head height and you're bound to hit something. Yeah, also, just real side note, I just love these sights on the las gun. I like that it kind of looks like a church. It's very cute. Yeah, other curveball classes they could throw at us. I'm thinking. Another Ogryn class? I don't really know what it would be, but like I don't know. We already kind of have a Bulgrin build. Ogryns don't really have a lot going on. they're pretty, you know, to the point characters. I guess, I don't know. Maybe like an assassin or something. I don't know. Maybe not a Calexis or anything like that, but just assassin TM. Yeah, how's it missing that headshot? Do they? You know who they should add? Shohei Ohtani. Yeah, other curveball classes. I mean, any Xenos, right, would be a curveball. Like, some people were like, Votan's maybe not off the table. And I actually kind of agree. I don't think a squat is necessarily off the table. Like, maybe it'll be like, oh, in exchange for something, or maybe Grendel's pulling an old favor with the kin, and so some Votan have showed up to help. It would be very, like, small, you know, gathering of kin, so that it's not like you're bringing the full might of the Trans-Hyperion Alliance on the heretics. Eldar would never happen, because once again, that's basically getting a Space Marine. I mean, you know, I made, like, sort of references to it, but, like, a field medic class. Like I've said, oh, like, the Sister Hospitaller could be a field medic, because obviously Inquisitors will employ Sister Hospitallers into their retinues because of how good they are at, you know, Sister Hospitaling. So, that, you know, that'd be a possibility. Or it could just be a straight-up combat medic, like straight-up, you know, white armband, Red Cross, veteran.
But are they good reasons? Still, I suppose we will find out.
They could use, like, other abhumans, like a Felonid, a Longshank. Although Longshanks aren't really suited for combat. They're suited for, like, void stuff. Because their bones are, like, stinky.
Show me what you got.
Some people are going to be like, why are you shooting the bubble? Hit it with your melee weapon. I'm actually doing more damage than I would if I was just using the chainsword. I don't have, like, any melee buffs on this build, so it's all las gun, baby.
Come on.
I hear?
Here, pop this! Throwing grenade! We are chosen! Compliments of the
More
gods!
fireworks. There we are.
Lucy Blade!
Nice. Yeah, kind of a yap, kind of like an unorganized, untargeted yapping. But yeah, TLDR. I think it'll be a tech priest, I hope, or a tech adept, maybe a Skitari. But if you missed my video, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, or don't. I'm not your mother, but you better brush your teeth and have a good one. Bye bye.